Orban is gone, but Orbanism is alive and well in the United States. Trump and his people told us over and over again that Orban was the model that they were going to follow. Orban is gone, but Orbanism is alive and well in the US. And unfortunately, at least I don't see who is going to be America's Peter Magyar. Who? But if there is one, then the Democrats need to unleash him or her very, very soon. Democracy is dying in America. The Democrats were busy with process, procedure, not saying mean words, defending Israel. As Schumer said, that is his biggest responsibility as the minority leader in the Senate, the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Nancy Pelosi said that even if the Capitol building was burning and falling down, the Democrats would still fight for Israel. The Democrats did not pay attention to what was happening under their nose and how the judiciary was being co-opted and handed over to the far right, and far right aligned and adjacent. The Supreme Court being the most dangerous version of that. But the Orban model has now permeated the judiciary across the country, the bureaucracy, the universities, the regulatory agencies, anybody who can investigate corruption. The media, the control by the oligarchs of the media, the Ellisons being the most egregious example of that. Orbanism is so alive in the US, even though Orban is gone from Hungary. So not only did the Supreme Court help Trump erase almost all black representation in the South, disenfranchised black voters, turned the clock back to 1964, 1965, gutted the Voting Rights Act. Today, the Supreme Court of Virginia has overturned the will of the voters. You heard that right. By a 4-3 decision, they have overturned the will of the voters on redistricting. The vote that just happened. Democrats have put redistricting and redrawing of maps to the voters in California and in Virginia, while the Republicans have rammed it through the legislatures in Texas, now in the South, where Louisiana governor has declared an emergency. I would call it a racist emergency, canceling voting that's already happening. 42,000 people have already voted, null and void. The governor of Louisiana has canceled the elections based on some faux emergency. Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, rushing to redraw maps, eliminating black representation. That's perfectly fine with everybody who matters, who can stop this. But Virginia that put it to the voters has been blocked. The will of the voters has been overturned. The question is, what will the Democrats do? Yes, the wind is at their back. Yes, the Republicans are facing headwinds of unpopularity. That is precisely why the judiciary is helping them rig the elections, rig democracy, overturn the will of the people. Louisiana's governor is showing the way of canceling elections. You don't like the results? You want to change them? Just cancel the elections. Declare an emergency and cancel the elections. You know who else is going to do that? The President of the United States. Everybody has been predicting that he is going to declare some national emergency and cancel elections when he realizes that he is losing the House and possibly the Senate. If the Democrats don't fight back and fight back hard now, because there is no mistake, there are no courts they can go to, I don't think, that they will get a fair shake. I really don't think that's going to happen. The question is, can they even take a chance on this anymore? Can they take a chance on the courts? Somebody is saying, forget the courts, ram it through the legislature, just like is happening in red states. And I have been wondering, why are they again going into this procedure bullshit? You're going to ram it through the legislatures? We will ram it through the legislature. That's what elections are for. If you have the majority in the legislature, then why are you not doing it? We are in such a dangerous moment. We are in Orban's America. We are not in a Jeffersonian America. The courts are fully co-opted. You may have one or two things that really don't amount to anything. Because if you don't have power, if you don't have legislative power, if you don't have investigative power, if you don't have power to hold people accountable, then what is the point? Like I said, if there is somebody emerging like a Peter Magyar amongst the Democrats, it is time to unleash them. Instead of sitting around debating Hassan Piker, instead of sitting around clutching your pearls over a streamer who doesn't have any political power, who has one vote like everybody else, who doesn't make policy, who doesn't argue cases in front of the Supreme Court or the state Supreme Court or appeals court. Yet, how much energy has been spent by the Democrats, irrelevant Democrats, but Democrats, in debating Hassan Piker. Why? Because he calls what's happening in Gaza a genocide. Because he takes an extremely aggressive stand on what is happening in the Middle East. That is why. They tried to take down Graham Plattner on that basis because, he was going to talk to Hassan Piker. They tried to take down Abdul Al-Sayed in Michigan. What happened? His poll numbers just went up. Hassan Piker is the big issue for the Democrats. That is what they're busying themselves with while democracy is being stolen from under their noses. The will of the Virginia electorate has just been stolen. The will of the people has just been overturned on a 4-3 decision. Are you going to sit around debating Hassan Piker, or are you going to actually fight? That would be my question to the Democrats and the Democratic leadership. Who are you serving? You have one eye on whom? Who are you beholden to? The will of your voters has just been overturned, for fuck's sake. I don't know if they've learned any lessons. We are in such a bad place at this moment. Democracy is in such a bad place. Like I said, it is Orban's America. Not the America that the framers of the Constitution imagined.